Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's episode 277 of the Audible Farm Podcast, and this episode is brought to you by the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association. The Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association is all about supporting and connecting local artists, musicians, and creators right here in north central Iowa. Head over to fdfineartsassociation.org to find their community calendar packed with upcoming concerts, art shows, theater events, and more. While you're there, check out their podcast, FDT. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts. That's the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association, celebrating creativity and community in the Fort Dodge area. This week, I'm sitting down with Mike Schulte. He's the drummer for the Pork Tornadoes. He's also 1/3 of the Confused Breakfast, and that's a podcast where they review, old movies, things like that. Also, some new ones every now and then. It's pretty popular. It's pretty fun. This episode's fun because it's like proof that if you do the thing and you stick to it and you try hard and you do it for, sometimes 20 years, sometimes, a year, you never know when things are going to pop off. So you got to kind of stick to your guns and always invest the time to do the extra things to make sure that people see you and appreciate what you've got going on. I like sitting down talking with Mike. He's a great guy. He's got a show coming up. He's got a handful of shows coming up with the Pork Tornadoes. One is near me, so I wanted to come in, bring him on, talk about it a little bit. It's like a mini ballroom tour. There's lots of fun things going on in this episode. We talk about the podcast, Confused Breakfast. We talk about the Pork Tornadoes. Lots of good stuff. So let's cue the music and listen to me talk to Mike Schulte.
It's the Audible Farm Podcast with your host, Peter Stockdale.
Sitting down today with Mike Schulte. Mike, it's been a while since you've been on the podcast, actually.
Do you have the stats? Do you know when it was?
I do, actually. Believe it or not.
I know you. Dude, we're the same guy. We both have stats.
Okay, so episode 95 was the first episode. That was in, 2020. And then I have episode 120 you were on again. I don't know if that's for real. I think it's only
I think I was twice. Is that all you have is 2 on your records?
There's one more in 2022 you were on again. So
2022? For real?
Yeah, that's the last time.
Man. So it's weird. I haven't even had so much has happened since then, man.
Yeah. So the thing that I think is going to be crazy, if people are blindly listening to this, I don't know if they're going to understand the gravity of what's going on here, but Mike Schulte is also a podcaster. Mike Schulte is, you and AJ and Sean have one of, I want to say one of the best movie review podcasts in the world. And that can be backed up with stats somehow, which is weird, dude.
Well, let's go back to, what did you say the first date was that I did with you?
2020.
What month?
Would have been June.
So what's wild is that podcast was not even in existence on that date. It was more of an idea in my head yet. We started the podcast in October 4th, 2020 was our first episode.
Wow. Oh, wow.
We're 5 years. Yeah, 5 years in, man.
That makes me want to go back and listen to the second episode to see if we talked about it even.
I think we probably did because I was like, hey, I got this thing, man. I hope people listen to it. And then just like anything in life, if you have something good and you buy into it and you are consistent and you just do every waking moment of your life is spent trying to build it, eventually those things will take off. And man, Confused Breakfast still to this day is I don't know how it happened, man. I really don't, but I'm just so grateful that it's just where it is right now.
Dude, okay, this is going to be so wild because there was a point in time in my life where I consumed all comedy podcasts. It was and I listened to all of the big ones and all of their buddies and all of the ancillary, so we're talking the Rogans down to Tom Segura's, all the way down the line. And one of them was Bert Kreischer. And I remember him mentioning you on a podcast, your guys' stuff, and he's just oh, and it was he said it I stumbled onto this thing. It's let me look it up my phone real quick, and he named you guys, and it was wait, what?
Then he picks up his phone and he finds a reel, and then he plays it into the microphone, and it's my voice talking on a Two Bears One Cave episode, and I'll never forget that day, man, because all of a sudden, like, our social media accounts were like blowing up, and friends were like, I heard you on Two Bears. And we're like, what?
Oh
You
my
know, it was,
gosh.
and so somebody timestamped it. They're like, oh, it's like the 3-hour mark of the episode that came out yesterday. And man, it goes to show you, like, I know you're big into like advertising nowadays, and that's pretty much like marketing is what you do. And you've always been into that, but like, I will still stand by this, that if you have any product out there, and you create reels and TikToks and videos for them, at some point, one of those will go viral. You know, like, it used to be with TikTok when we started doing that in like early 21, it was like your fourth or fifth video was a guaranteed million views. It was like guaranteed. TikTok was unbelievable back then. And I'm telling you, man, you don't know who will see those sometimes. So like that was the whole catalyst with Confused Breakfast is a couple TikToks went viral. Bert Kreischer saw it, mentioned us on his Two Bears, One Cave podcast. Then we got this like big influx of people. And then the funny part about that is then he disappeared. Like, we were trying to be like, hey, Bert, we're best friends, right? We were the guys you're talking about. And nothing, like, just ghost. So then like another year goes by, and then all of a sudden he slides into our Instagram because like another one of our things popped into his feed.
Oh, wow.
He's like, are you guys ever in Los Angeles? I'm like, yeah, all the time, dude. You know, like, having never been to Los Angeles. He's like, I want you on Bertcast. Are you going to be here in like mid-September? I was like, yeah, weird. I'm totally going to be there in mid-September, because you say yes to that at all times. And then so our appearance on his Bertcast shot us up to the next level. And then he came through Cedar Rapids and did an episode on our podcast, and that shot us up. So it's been 5 years of grinding, man, but it feels awesome to have, just like, we crossed 1 million social media followers a couple weeks ago. It's like, what does that even mean? Like, how do you quantify 1 million social media followers? You know, like, what does that mean? I don't know.
It's so crazy because it's just like you and your buddies sitting down talking about movies. And, before I'm going to keep drilling into this because this is on my docket of stuff to talk about. But like,
I know we're mostly a music podcast. We'll get to it, right?
Yes. So you are the drummer in the Pork Tornadoes. And for anybody listening in the area, the Pork Tornadoes are going to be in Fort Dodge Saturday, November 22nd. That's the Fort Dodge Fireman's Ball at the Larimar Ballroom. You also have the Valor Ballroom the night before. And then
the surf ballroom Friday the 28th. I think
the Friday after. So you have like a triple shot of like the Iowa ballroom tour.
Well, did you know, we found this out? This will be our third year doing the Fort Dodge Fireman's Ball, which, by the way, is such a blast. I got to see you there last year. It's such a cool vibe, and it's for a good cause. And the Larimar's like an awesome room. I didn't know anything about the Larimar, and the first time we went there, they told us that the Larimar's claim to fame is that it was the spot before Buddy Holly and them went to, they stopped at Larimar and then they went to surf. And the weird part was they told us that, and we were like, our next show's at the surf. It was like we were going from the Larimar to the surf, and they're like, just don't get on a plane maybe after you leave surf. We're like, nah, no plans there, man.
Oh,
so
wow.
that is such a fun thing. I love being in Fort Dodge. Fort Dodge has been awesome to us lately, and partnering with the Fireman's Ball is a blast, man.
Yeah, I actually just had the fire chief on one of my other podcasts not too long ago. So go listen to that one if you can go find it. Matt Price was on there, but yeah, dude, the cool thing about the Larimar is like upstairs they're doing something now. They're calling it, I think, the Playmore Lounge, and it's like almost like a speakeasy type place. Like,
whoa, really?
So you might have to go. Maybe show up a little bit early and check that out, because I know that might be right up your alley.
If there's some sort of old fashioned whiskey cocktail, and I'll sniff it out, I'll be like, I smell it. It's somewhere up here. I'll find it, man.
That's super cool. Yeah, I know it. I don't know too much about it. I know it just opened. They've had a couple shows there, and it's kind of like a soft opening going on. But yeah, definitely.
Well, not to get into like the music talk too much. I know you want to drill it, but like it's such a bummer seeing all these like music venues that have been closing over the last 3-4 years. I know we just had Lefties, and I live in Cedar Rapids. That is where I'm at. And dude, if you go back 6 years in this town, there were probably, I would say, 6 bars that you knew on a Friday or Saturday night, no matter what, you could go there, someone's playing, and now I think we're down to 1, man. Like it's it's a weird time. In fact, we were just at the Slowdown in Omaha last night, and talking to them, talking to promoters, talking to other bands. We opened up for Hairball in Coralville the night before that, and everyone says, guys, we are down. The music business is struggling. Ticket sales are down across the board for locals, for regionals, for nationals. And so, like, I think it's going to be a bit of a dark winter for the music business, unfortunately, when it comes to attendance at shows. So I'm just passing the word along that I think the name of the game right now is button it up a little bit, reduce your costs, be smart when you're booking shows, because it's just the economy right now, man. People are not going to shows right now as much as they used to.
Yeah, I feel that way. And like the places that do have shows, I want to say are best suited for like 2 or 3 people bands that are like smaller type bands. They're like dual purpose venues where it's like a restaurant plus they have a stage. So it's not all reliant on one thing. You're still going to have some bar shows here and there. But yeah, I mean, you're talking about Des Moines, you're talking Valor Ballroom's not there. The Gas Lamp's not there. Lefty's just closed. There's no more Hull Avenue. I mean, there's just a bunch of places that have just over time just kind of closed up, and it's places you never thought would ever close up.
Well, and that's your reminder. Is like you were just saying the above the Larimar or whatever. It's a new venue. Go check it out. Like, no, more than ever, this is sort of like a COVID moment where we were like pushing, you get out and support your local bit. Like, now is the time to buy merch, to buy tickets, show up, buy some beers, buy a round of shots for the band. Like, whatever you can do this winter, like consider that if you are a supporter of the music business and local, because I think it's going to be a little weird. I don't think Lefties will be the first one to close here that we'll be talking about in the next 6 months.
Ooh, that's a struggle bus right there. Because I mean, like, it makes you think too. Because even if you go into like a place like Des Moines, if you don't have a Lefties or a thing like that, the next step up would be Woolies, which is quite a bit bigger.
Oh yeah,
and then the next step
there's
up
more costs and
the next step up from there is like what, Vets Auditorium or the Casey Center, like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of places to go, really.
No, and unfortunately, the only people, like, if you go back six plus years, having a local cover band in a bar in a corner was enough to generate people, people coming in and spending money. But with prices nuts and not as many people going out, the bar sales get lower and lower and lower, and the bands are wanting more and more and more, and yeah, it's just like it's getting really tough for the smaller venues. The big ones can hang on because they can have the big show pop off every couple weeks and just go, but man, the local small venues need help this winter.
Yeah, I think that's something too, that just everyone's just social. It's different now than it was, and I mean, even as far back as like 10 years ago, it's different. One of the things I want to like let people know is you were in the Pork Tornadoes when the Pork Tornadoes weren't what they are now. You were in local bands. You were playing local shows, local or whatever you want to call them, rock shows that are
totally.
Yeah. So like you've seen all sides of this just like everyone else has, but like it's just weird now when you have a show, people just don't go out to the show because maybe it's because they're like, well, I can just see clips of it on my Snapchat, or it'll be on Facebook, or somebody will take a video, it'll be on YouTube, or whatever it happens to be. I don't know if that's what's coming into people's minds, or
I also think I think we've hit a cultural shift. I don't know, you can call it COVID if you want, but I do think it had a lot to do with the fact that a lot of people just have more creature comforts at home. It's been coming for a while. Like if you think about going to a sporting event, like I used to love going to like Iowa football games, but then you think about the time it takes you to get there, sitting in traffic, sitting on an uncomfortable seat, having to get up and go use a community bathroom and wait in line for drinks when you have this 70-inch 4K television in your basement with your own couch and your own bathroom. Like, yeah, creature comforts, man. Like people just kind of want to be home nowadays,
Dude, and a super big TV that connects to your Wi-Fi that's only $400. It's like, it's so wild to think. Like
annoying person next to me, like farting and stuff. What I mean?
Exactly, dude. I'm like one of the most frugal people ever. I just like won't spend money on stuff. I have a TV that's like 720p from like 15 years ago that I'm just like, it works. I'm not buying a new one. And then I finally went out to go buy a new one, and I'm like, the new TV I bought is like literally 4 of these big, and it cost less than this one did when I bought it.
It cost less than when you bought the new one, dude.
Like, I should have just upgraded forever, and now I totally get what you're saying, where it's like, dude, I don't want to go to the movies or anything. I'll just rent it and watch it here or whatever, and
dude, and just think about like all the amazing concerts you can just click on your YouTube with your dope ass sound system and just be like, cool, or you sit at home and you put your records on and you drink your own booze that's cheap, like, I don't know. I'm getting older, man. Like I'm 43 and I'm out a lot. I'm gone every weekend. And then like when I am home, like I don't really want to go anywhere, man.
Dude.
And so I don't want to like harp on people for not going out because I don't want to either. But if you have something you really want to go to, like you got to make it a point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then you mentioned merch earlier. That's another one where like I've always been like, if you see a piece of merch that you want, just buy it because it might not be here forever. And I can't tell you how many times I wanted to buy a shirt from a band, and then I was like, I'll get them next time. And then 5 months later, it's like, you still got that shirt? And they're like, no,
we sold it the following day.
Yeah, like, okay, sorry, I should have just bought it. Whatever, I don't know, but yeah, it's wild. I will say there's definitely a cultural shift going on. Like I agree with what you're saying though. Like when I play music, I will say like 40 plus weekends a year, I'm playing music. So when I have a weekend where I'm out doing something, it sucks to say it, but I sit at home, and if there's a local show, I might swing by and say hi, but
well, and man, since we started, I got 2 kids now. I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old who I'm sad to leave sometimes on the weekends. So like, man, if I'm home, I want to be home, dude.
Dude, yeah, for sure. That's another fun thing is like, you're a social personality pretty much on the internet, and it's fun to see like every now and then you'll have like the pork tornadoes with like everybody in the crowd yell happy birthday to my daughter or something like, and it's like, dude, that's wild to have like thousands of people. Like, I don't know if like your 2 or 3-year-old daughter at the time could like measure the gravity of like all of those people.
It's actually kind of funny because I think she just thinks that every dad like leaves and plays drums on the weekend. And like, dude, I have this video. I'll cherish it for the rest of my life. We played they call it the Lion Energy Powerhouse. It's like the big arena in Cedar Rapids, and we're doing that again in February if you guys live around Cedar Rapids. But we're talking the biggest stage you've ever seen in this huge room, and we're sound checking, and I'm playing drums, looking over at like my 3-year-old and 1-year-old sitting on the stage, just like just assuming this is normal, and so someday they'll learn that that's maybe not the most normal thing. But yeah, every time I go somewhere, I take a little picture of them and take a photo in front of the crowd and then show it to them when I get home. So yeah, it's like something we can do. It's something a little special we can have.
Dude, that's super fun. I know what you mean too. Like when you say, it makes me think about when I was a kid, it's like everything my dad did. Well, I guess every dad does this, everything my mom does. Like this is just normal, right? And then you go to other people's house and you're like, oh, you have, like this cereal and I have that cereal. I'm like, well, this is so weird. It's like a parallel universe, like that's going to be weird. But when she grows up, she's like, wait a second, your dad wasn't like a local rock legend guy, like
And we try to phrase it too sometimes. Like last night in Omaha, I was like, we got to get a photo together with all you guys so that we can prove to our kids at some point that we were cool at one point, because like someday they're gonna hate us and we're like, no, look, we were cool. Look at this.
There was a time. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's so fun.
There was a time. And so when this band started, this will be our 18th year of the band's existence, and we were college kids. We were playing for free beer in front of 10 people, every night, and now we're married. There's 8 kids among the 4 of us, all under the age of like 7, I think, and so wow. We all live in different towns now. We don't even like get together to practice anymore, where we used to live. Like, God, Mason and Corey lived together for like 10 years,
Oh, cool. Dude, okay, so like at what point in time does it hit you that like you are and I'm just gonna like phrase it as flatly as possible, you're a cover band that's playing songs that are like, okay, this is gonna sound crazy because I play in a cover band, and Jesse has originals and stuff too, and all these other cover bands that I know, some of them have their own originals or whatever, but like, yeah, you kind of branch out a little bit, you kind of start playing some bigger shows. But at what point in time do you realize that like this is not the same as going from one small town bar to the next small town bar?
There was never like a whoop. Like if you look back on it, it was a very slow and steady race on this whole thing. I mean, that's what a lot of people will reach out to me and say, hey man, we've been a band for 2 years. Like, why can't we hit these huge shows. I'm like, because you've been a band for 2 years. I know that seems like a lot, but I think a lot of people do forget that we have been around for so long, and we've been in a world where cover bands were not necessarily like a popular thing when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
We were, I in a lot of ways, I feel like we were just this giant snowplow, just gaining every inch we can to just like hopefully open more of an acceptance for like the art of covers and the art of tribute. And I think a lot more nowadays bands can kind of find their stride really quickly and move. But like for us, man, I don't know. I sometimes still feel like a fraud or, or whatever the word is, where I'm just like, we think we're so cool, but we're not, So I don't know. There's just been moments, much like Confused Breakfast, like you have a big show, or you have like the Tennessee Whiskey cover takes off, or that In the Air Tonight with the Vikings drum line. You have these like little moments where that your name's getting out there a little bit and you see a bump in shows. But our goal has always been that like, if we don't like what we're doing and we don't believe in what we're doing, then like we're never going to have other people like us, So we never pick songs based on what like we think the crowd will like. We've always been like, we like this, and if people see us liking this and truthfully enjoying it, then they're going to like it. And so we've always taken that approach, man. But like, I'll tell you what, I told this to somebody the other day that they kind of asked the same question. They said, when did you like figure out that it was different? And I think it was when we first figured out that we could take like girl pop songs and turn them into, that was sort of the moment where it was like kind of a joke at first. And it was like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. We started doing that as a rock version, and it just like elicited more of a response than most. And we go, well, wait a minute. It's kind of funny, right? Like bearded dudes playing pop songs, but making them rock and roll. And it wasn't like on purpose by any means, but that was definitely a moment where we go, okay, this can maybe set us apart if we sort of go that route a little bit,
Dude, that's fun because I've been trying to usher people towards that and find the right people I can to push that direction to do it. But I wanted somebody to do the country version of exactly that. So like I had seen you play and enough where I was kind of like, oh, you're doing a lot of songs by, like you said, like Katy Perry or like a Miley Cyrus or like, a whatever, you pick out these artists that are female pop artists. And you're like, whoa, okay, this actually works. And it's like, why wouldn't this work if like a bearded country guy did chick country songs, like it
1,000,000% works, dude, because pop music and modern country music are the literal same thing. It's just, there's like a twang and a vocal a little bit, like a pop song is a pop song. It's 3.5 minutes long. It's verse, chorus. It's catchy. It's got a great hook. And so there's no reason why a country band couldn't take Love Story by Taylor Swift and countrify it a little bit. I mean, dude, we play seamlessly between country and pop music and rock music, and it's all the same. It's like, a good song is a good song that people like. So I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if somebody else wants to hop on that before I get on it. Go for it, I guess.
Nope. This is I think by speaking it into the world, it's your intellectual property at this point, I think.
Yeah, it's like
you own copyright on it.
Yeah, it's like a napkin patent. You put a date on it.
Exactly.
Dude, I do want to say, though, too, like you'd mentioned, you had a couple of these moments that were like caught on camera that went pseudo viral, that, that it reached out there and people kind of realized like, oh, there's this fun thing that's happening. Like, let's remember the gravity of like, you need to capture this stuff. If no matter how much cool stuff happens to you and your band, if you don't capture any of it and show anyone, it's not that it doesn't matter, but like you're never gonna capitalize any more on it other than the feeling of happy that you got sitting there in the moment.
Well, and you have to remember too, especially nowadays, man, just put it out there, and like chances are that it'll get lost in the algorithm and no one will ever see it, and that's fine. It is okay to put something out there that doesn't perform. And like with Tennessee Whiskey, I loved the recording that we had, but I hated the video I put together. I was like, I just don't like this video. It seems and we put it on Facebook first. This is back when like that Universal Music copyright strike thing would happen. They had some weird disagreement, and we put it on Facebook, and it hit like 100,000 views. We're like, oh shit! And then it got taken down, and my account got flagged for like a week because there was a copyright strike. And so I was so jaded from that I was like screw this. And Corey was like, put it on YouTube. I'm like, dude, we have like 7 followers on YouTube. Nobody's going to find it. And sure enough, it just somehow found people, and it took us up to what we are now. So you just literally have to put it out there. And what do you lose? Like if you film a cool guitar solo during a song and like you put it out there and 100 people watch it, okay. Like move on. Move on to the next one.
That's 100 more than 0. And not only that, but it could very well be, especially if you're putting it out in the like short form video vertical style, like it could be 100 people that have never seen any of your stuff before.
Most likely that's who it's going to be.
So like,
well, and dude, you're in the world where like, guys, listen, if you take anything from this and you're a marketing advertising person, if you made a post in the last 2 months on your band page that like did way better than others, post it again.
Yeah.
Because like you think that you automatically assume that all 1,000 page followers of yours is going to see your post, and you're so wrong. You're like so wrong. 7 of them are going to see it. So post it again. Something about that post made the algorithm happy. Do it again. Yeah. No one cares. No one cares.
You can literally post it exactly like clip for clip, word for word, like just repost it. And like, I know YouTube used to get kind of angry with you, like, oh, you're posting duplicate content or whatever, but like, I haven't gotten a strike from YouTube.
I don't think anyone cares anymore. They just want you to post. That's all they want.
Bingo. Yeah. So, and I mean, I'm sure you saw that thing I posted where like I run a lot of social medias and YouTube channels and stuff. And like, you know, I've amassed over 1 million views on YouTube over the course of like a year running a couple channels. And it's like, it just takes like posting on a consistent basis, whether it be every day or every other day. Before you know it, the algorithm starts to figure out what you're doing. And it's like, oh, instead of getting 500 views every now and then, now almost all of them are going to get 1,000, and a couple of them might get like 5,000. And then before you know it, now you got a few that have 10,000. And then, you know, it just starts to build on itself. And I think it's the most time consuming part of all of this, you know, like the fun part is playing the music. The fun part's, you know, but like, this is just the extra thing that people, I don't say anybody needs to do this, but I don't know. This is the thing I think a lot of people are missing, I guess.
Yeah, and I wish, man, like I see the comments all the time, like, oh man, I wish we could go back to the old days when you just told people about your show and they came out. It's like, yeah, dude, we all want to go back to that. But like, it's like AI, like it's not, the modern world is here. And if you can't just wish for the old days, because it's never coming back. The old days of just you being booked in a bar because the owner knows that 500 people are going to be there regardless and he wants entertainment is gone. It will never happen again. So just do it. You have to put in the work. Confused Breakfast, when we started that TikTok, I said I will post 1 TikTok video every day for a year. And the amount of work that took was stupid. I hated it. But guess what? Now it's a legitimate business that like it has 1 million followers because we put that work in. So it's like, you just like, it sucks, man, but you just if you want anything to pop off in this world, you have to do the work. And I wish it was different, but it's not.
Well, it's easier now than ever to turn something into a monetized event too. So like you could literally just go to your own Facebook profile page and just turn it on for monetization, and it'll just do it. Like now you can have a paid or a profile that's monetized. Any of your pages can be monetized, and they'll just start stuffing ads in there and doing all sorts of weird stuff. And you can get,
and even if you're like, oh, but it only makes me like 5 cents a month. It's like, so what? Have it turned on, because what if a Tennessee whiskey pops off for you?
Bingo.
Because we missed it. We didn't get the YouTube monetization until like 2 years after Tennessee whiskey went for 5 million views, because we had to accumulate all the stuff, you know. But like nowadays, yeah, dude, Facebook, I will tell you, I won't give you any numbers, but for Confused Breakfast, Facebook is our #1 revenue stream.
Well, geez.
Like, it's just, think about that. It's pure insanity what they're paying people right now, and you could do that too if you have the stuff, you know.
I know people that literally just post like memes and nonsense all day long, and they're just like, I got $40 this month just for posting on Facebook every day, and it's like, are you serious? Like,
it's like, that's incredible, because you guys, we're all on our phones and Facebook anyway. Like, you might as well post something.
Yeah. turn it on and start posting stuff.
Share something.
I don't.
Like nobody. There's no intellectual property anymore. Just copy. They steal somebody else's work. Nobody, dude. Every day I get tagged in something that I've made that some other page just took and stripped all of our stuff away from and just goes, "This is mine." And I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? Dude, what are you gonna do?
I know some of it's the algorithm. Some of this is the algorithm doing this. We're gonna squeak back over to Confused Breakfast because like I will listen to episodes and things like that, and then I will find people that have adjacent style podcasts where it's like you're literally just redoing what I've heard, and I'm not trying to like be like my friends did this and somebody copied it and I'm cool because I know these people, but it's like literally I'm watching people like have podcasts and stuff that are just like piggybacking behind other created content where it's like I swear they're just going to the reels of this podcast, watching it and just being like, let's make our own, and we're just going to talk about the reels. And
it's fine. Like, it doesn't bug me because I was stupid enough to think that when we started this podcast that this was an original idea. Like, we're going to review classic movies with a modern eye. And I swear to you, dude, I like had a brain fart or something because I was like, I searched, I couldn't find any. And then of course, dude, it might be one of the most crowded channels of podcasting out there of this nostalgia based movies and it's fine. So it's like, there's no original. We had one podcast come after us, like their entire fan base was like, you're talking about the same movie that our favorite podcast talked about. I'm like, it's like there's no more original thoughts about these things. This is a 40-year-old movie. Like it's been sorted out. We all have said the things that have needed to be said about this.
Yeah. Oh wow, someone else 30 years ago watched the Goonies 400 times through their adolescence. Go figure.
Oh my God. Wow, you're not the first one to tell me that there was a deleted scene with an octopus. Oh my God.
Dude, I loved showing the octopus scene to people. That's so fun.
So I just bought, I made it a write-off because it's research for the Confused Breakfast, but I bought the Goonies Lego set that they just came out with. It's like a huge pirate ship. I've never done Legos before, but I'm like infatuated with it. This is the cool. It's like 30,000 pieces.
Dude.
It's amazing, man.
That's crazy. You guys did a Goonies review episode in the Goonies house, correct?
Yeah. It was part of that wave. Like Bert hit us up, and then we went on his podcast, and then the Mikey's house in Astoria was going to get listed for sale, and the realtor was trying to think of how to plug into like the nostalgia base, and he was smart enough to go, I need to find like a popular podcast. And he likes Bert. He heard us on Bert talking about Goonies. He called us. He said, you want to come out to Mikey's house and be the first people in here in a decade? And so we made a trip out there. It's on YouTube. It's one of my favorite things I've ever put together. We were inside the house for the entire day, recreating the scenes, like showing you where they filmed it and like recreating it. I'm telling you, man, if you ever get a chance to go to Astoria, Oregon, that house is incredible. They filmed Kindergarten Cop there. There's all these Goonies filming locations. They filmed Point Break, a few scenes from Point Break there. And then it's just like Pacific Northwest is the best, man. So that's one of my favorite movies of all time, and maybe a peak moment in my life is being inside of the house that I saw in my favorite movie. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's gotta be wild. I could just like sit there in the house, just be like, I just think about like the statue getting pushed over and then they glue it on backwards or upside down.
Well, and it's a wild story because they told us that they bought that house in 1984 or whatever, turned it into what it is now, filmed the movie there, and then they sold it to someone, and then that person within about 3 or 4 years, like it went to complete shit. It got foreclosed on, and it just sat there. And it was in pre-internet era to where people would search out like filming locations. So it was not a thing. And then the lady that owned it before she just sold it, bought it and slowly turned it up, like renovated it back into a normal house over 25 years. And slowly but surely in the like late 90s, early 2000s, people started coming there and like finding it and making it a destination. And it's the same as Field of Dreams, dude. We spent the night at the Field of Dreams house.
Yep.
We got to play baseball on the field like at midnight with the lights on.
Dude.
But they told us that they went and bought that. They bought that farmhouse and the field to make the movie. They made the baseball field, and then they made the movie, and then they were literally going to demolish the field and sell the house back to someone else when, like, that day, bulldozers came out to bulldoze the field, and a car showed up. Like, a guy's like, I saw the movie, and something told me that I was supposed to come find this field and look at it. So basically, the movie came true in real life. Where
oh, wow.
And so they go, wait a minute, hold on a second. We should not bulldoze this. Like, this is the thing. And people just started showing up, and like, it's just wild, the nostalgia of it, I find myself watching a movie and I'll pause it and go, where did they film this? Like, I want to see what it looks like now. And I don't know. There's something cool about that to me.
Dude, yeah. I love when you guys bring that kind of stuff up on your podcast, because it's like, what was it? Forrest Gump being filmed in the Carolinas, even like the Vietnam scenes.
The Vietnam scenes.
And I remember I just recently rewatched it again after I listened to that, because I think you had it like up again, and I was just like, no way. And I like even watched through it again. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah. But then there are ways, like, once you know about it, you can't unsee it. Like, are you a Halloween fan, like a Michael Myers fan? Do you watch that stuff around Halloween time?
I've seen a couple of them, yeah.
So the original, the 1978, is still, in my opinion, an absolute masterpiece. It's incredible. I watch it every Halloween season, but they try to play it off as if it's a fall Midwestern town in Illinois. If you start to notice it, there are palm trees everywhere. It was filmed in LA, and like you'll look down the street and see a line of palm trees coming out down like 3 blocks down, and once you see it, you're like, oh no, I can't unsee it.
Dude, that was something else where like I watch movies and I get suspended in the disbelief, and even if something comes up where I kind of see it a little bit, I'm just like, I don't care. But there are sometimes when you guys mention stuff in the podcast, though, it's like they're like, well, once you see it, you're gonna be like, oh, oof, and that was like one of the things where they started adding Forrest Gump in and moving people's mouths to make them say things they didn't say, and it's like, I didn't realize any of this, and then when I rewatched it, I'm like, I can kind of see it now, and it's, I don't know, it doesn't ruin the movie at all. But
no, it doesn't ruin it for me, but it's something to like, that's what we're doing. We're trying to like pick it apart, say, I never noticed this as a kid.
But it's also 30 years ago though, too, so you have to, I mean, we all think 30 years ago is not that long ago, but technology 30 years ago is not what it was today.
30 years ago, Jesus.
Yeah. Where are some other places that you guys have filmed episodes in? Was those the two big ones?
Yeah, I think those were the two big destinations we went to. Mikey's house, the Field of Dreams house. Yeah, we'd like to do more. Sometimes it just gets a little hard with like the logistics. Like we were in talks of the Silence of the Lambs house with Buffalo Bill, where Buffalo Bill's house is. We were going to do like, the Christmas Story house in like Illinois, I think. But it's all like, how do you figure it out? How do you get the logistics of it? And so we'll do it at some point, I'm sure.
The timing alone would be hard, especially, like you said, like y'all got lives and families.
Totally.
So like it's just that alone. Plus on top of the actual real work of trying to hunt these people down.
Yeah, and dude, when we went to Astoria, like that was on our own dime. We lost money to go do, but like you say yes to that. It was like the Bert thing. You just say yes and you figure it out at a different time.
Yeah, the opportunity is never going to be there again. If you told him no, maybe late. We're going to be there in November instead of September. He would have been like, I'm on tour. Sorry,
He's coming to Cedar Rapids again in March, and his movie that he said he wanted to do next time we were together is Revenge of the Nerds. So that is on the docket. Bert with us doing Revenge of the Nerds, which is very problematic movie 40 years later. It's very problematic.
Dude, you're going to have an ultimate if you record with him, because I feel like it's going to be the perfect buffer on the other end. You're going to have like the ultimate, like a good comedy, actually established comedy guy there to keep everything lighthearted and laugh through it all, But like you said, there's a few movies I rewatched and it's just like, oh, huh. All right. How about them apples? Or like,
what's your favorite movie? Like right now, today's day and age, like what is the number? You're on a desert island. You only get one movie to keep with you and watch. Like, what do you think that is? I know you're not a huge movie guy, but like,
gosh, shoot, maybe a Tarantino movie, maybe like a Pulp Fiction, maybe.
Have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No.
Dude, I'm pretty sure it's my favorite Tarantino. It's the newest one he put out. It's peak Leonardo DiCaprio, peak Brad Pitt. It's probably my favorite. And I love all Tarantino. And speaking of Leo, if you haven't had a chance to see One Battle After Another, that new Paul Thomas Anderson movie that just hit the theaters, it's incredible. It's those are two movies for your list. You can rent or probably stream Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but One Battle After Another still in the theaters still.
Sweet. Maybe I will have to go out and watch a movie because, like,
I went by myself at noon on a Tuesday. It was awesome. Dude. I've never done that before. It was so cool.
That's sweet. I'll tell you what. If anybody's going to recommend a new movie for me to actually like perk my ears up to listen to go check it out, it would be you. I mean, obviously, like because of all of this, but one thing I think is funny. This might sound weird. Do you recommend people listen to your episodes before or after they watch the movie?
That's tough because there are people that will listen. They tell us they listen to it first and then they go watch the movie because they want to know all the things we say to then watch for it.
Bingo.
But then there's the people that have never seen the movie, and so they got to at least watch it before they can then hear us dissect, because we don't want to spoil it. Like we just did The Usual Suspects today. That comes out next week, and like you don't want us to talk about it before you've seen it because that's a pretty big twist, that you're gonna find out. Dude,
somebody ruined that movie for me.
Sucks, doesn't it?
Like I would say they ruined like 95% of it. And then I still watched it, and the 5% they didn't ruin, I was still just like, "Oh, no way!" Like it's still super cool.
Did you hear what year did 50 First Dates come out? That was like 2005.
Yeah, probably.
And then tell me what date The Sixth Sense came out at.
2004 for 50 First Dates.
Okay, Sixth Sense probably like 94 or 93.
1999. Sixth Sense.
Okay, so 5 years after The Sixth Sense has come out, one of the most popular movies of the century that everyone knows, like 5 years later, we all probably have either seen it or know what happens in the end. It becomes a pop culture thing. If you remember 50 First Dates, they like talk about the twist in that movie. Adam Sandler like says, "Oh, did you know he was dead the whole time?" Because like, yeah, it's a joke. We all knew he was dead the whole time. But someone tried to sue Adam Sandler for like ruining the twist. It's like, bro, no. I say you get about 2 to 3 years before we can start talking about something like that. That's max,
Dude, that's like to sue someone over it. Oh my gosh, give me a break.
Exactly. Yeah, that did not go anywhere, I'm sure.
One of the reviews I listened to recently was the Back to the Future 3 review you guys did, and the fun part about that was you guys were kind of like keyed it up. Like this one might be the one with the most plot holes of all the movies. And I was like, there's no way this has more than 2. Like two seem to have quite a few plot holes in it, generally speaking. 3
just really seemed like one that had it. They just were tying it up, like they're like, we want to take it to the old West and we want to do this. And I think 2's great. If you would have asked me 10 years ago, what's your favorite Back to the Future? I would have said 2, 1, 3.
Yeah, I can see that.
But now I still think 1. I don't think 2 is as good as we remember it. We like 2 because of the hoverboard stuff and the futuristic stuff. It's still great. But 1, I think 1 is my highest. We give it a modern day rating after every episode, and I think Back to the Future is my number 1 highest rating at this point.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's just, dude, it's flawless. Number 1 is flawless. There's nothing wrong with it. Do you know the band The Midnight? Have you ever heard of them before?
Oh, maybe. No, I'm going to say no.
They're in this like synthwave era of this like recreation of like 80s vibes, and they're one of the forefronts of them. Tomorrow, so I guess it's already out by the time you release this episode, they were a guest on our show, and we talked about, we'll bring this back to music. We did a single elimination bracket to figure out what the number 1 greatest 80s song or greatest song from an 80s movie was. And the reason that I got thinking about that was The Power of Love. That opening scene of Back to the Future was definitely a high seed in that bracket, because that is just Huey Lewis combined with Back to the Future. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. What ended? Don't ruin it for the episode.
I'll give you some songs that were in the bracket. How about that?
All right, yeah, because I'm thinking.
I'll go off of memory here.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah, Don't You Forget About Me.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the song, not the movie, right? So Don't You Forget About Me. Oh no, the Rocky theme, Survivor,
Yep.
Danger Zone,
Oh, okay.
Weird Science,
Dude, okay, there's some bangers in there. Okay.
Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now from Mannequin. Once you start going, we even did the Beatles from Ferris Bueller, Twist and Shout. It's a really fun bracket because you start to think, oh, it's easy, but then you have a battle of like, Don't You Forget About Me versus Danger Zone. You're like,
yeah, no, how do you choose?
what's a better song? I don't know. We did like You're the Best Around from Karate Kid and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's fun, dude. That's another fun thing is like you guys have found a good way to branch out not only into just movie reviews, but to do other things like those types of deals or like.
And we're all musicians too, so like we do spend a lot of time talking about like soundtracks to movies and what scores do to movies, because that's like, if you're a musician or a music lover, like that's why movies. If you said, hey, you can only have like albums or movies for the rest of your life, I'm like, I'm going to pick a movie, because most of the time the movie takes the music and like there's that special moment where the visual and the music both combine to make this just unbelievable moment in your brain, where the music can do that and a video image can do that, but when you combine them together, it's like there's nothing better, man.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned big one, Rocky running up the steps, throwing his hands in the air, it's just
like, think about that. If they would have had a different song, it might not have felt the same,
Yeah, or no music. Like that's one of my favorite things about actually
it's
like
just him going,
yeah. Like,
Jesus.
I do video production stuff sometimes on the side, and it's just like, like I'll make videos and then it's just like this is okay, and then you put a music in the background and it's like this is completely changes this. It's so
Have
wild.
you been messing with Suno, like artificial music intelligence yet? Have you gone down that road?
No.
Bro, I'm so confused and conflicted of like, like these AI songs are starting to top the charts, and it's not the gimmick of it. It's legitimately that they are good songs.
Yeah.
And like, so I actually messed around with Suno the other day, and I started putting in like my old band's recordings. Mm-hmm. And then saying like, hey, turn this into like a country song, or turn this into an 80s new wave song. And I'm like speechless when I'm hearing how quickly this happens and how perfect it is and how much better produced it is than anything we could ever do. We've officially entered. I don't think we're coming back, bro. It's going to be some way of meshing real musicians together with this, because I don't know, man. Like, these major artists would be dumb to not be using it right now at this point. Like, it's legitimately creating things that take 1 second that might take a band $100,000 in a month in a studio.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Milli Vanilli is just over here like
that's what I'm saying, dude.
Just like, what the crap,
And for the record, I am not for this. I'm hoping there will be a way, because it's not going away. So I'm hoping there will be a way that we can all start to like work together. I mean, there are useful things. Like, I've heard that sound engineers are starting to use like mixing technology to like run an audio mix through a program that can go, hey man, like, by the way, this frequency, why don't you pull that frequency a little bit? Why don't you increase this volume? Like, it'll help the overall experience. But man, the creation of the music is just, I thought for sure we'd never make it to a point where like it's creating art, and it's really good, and it's just starting. While we're going to sleep tonight, it's going to improve itself double, like, it's like, I don't know what to say anymore, man. I really don't.
It's crazy to think you can put in like, Van Halen jump into an AI machine, and it can pull the stems out and be like, this is the isolated vocal track, and here's the backing vocals, and here's the guitar, and here's guitar 2, and here's the bass, and it can do all that stuff for you, and it sounds amazing. It's insane. Like, I even use it sometimes to clean up like raw audio if I'm recording like with a field recorder and stuff, and it's weird what it will be able to isolate out and pull out of the thing if you ask it to.
And you, dude, I know you've gotten down the road of like modern country music. I used to traditionally just be like, this is the worst music ever. I hate modern country. Like, I was that guy. There are plenty of those people out there. But what I found, the reason I have gravitated so much to pop music and like modern country music is the production quality, the way, how pleasant it is to listen to put on a Morgan Wallen album, just be like, that it just like feels good because it sounds great. And the older I get, the more it's harder to go back to like my indie days, my rock days where I'm like, dude, they recorded this with one microphone and an 8-track player, and that's why it's so dope because it's so raw. It's like now I can't even listen to it. It's so hard.
Oh my gosh, it makes me think of like this tweet I remember seeing online. It's like, I think I'm going to try getting into black metal again. And then it was like 8 minutes later and the guy was just like, never mind. Like,
no,
it's like you recorded this with like a cassette recorder from the 80s that you put a piece of tape over the cassette thingy so it would record onto the cassette, and you hit the two buttons at the same time. And we're like, this is our single. It just doesn't sound good. I don't know. But the other thing, the benefit is though, if you can record stems and they're kind of even junky and you can afford AI, you can be like, clean these up for me. And then send all of those into a mastering track and say, can you master this for me? And you can get something that, you still have the integrity of playing the music.
I get it.
Yeah. But there's still the thing of like cost effectiveness. If you use it as a tool in one way, I'm not advocating people get rid of manual mixing and mastering. Pay someone to do it if you want to do it the right way. But at the same time, if you're in a pinch, there's ways this can be used beneficially instead of actually just using it as the whole prop, And
we were just talking about it today. Like Sean on Confused Breakfast is very like, dude, no, like we cannot be doing this. And the unfortunate part is that like it's there. We've reached the point where you either have to do it or not do it, because it's going to keep going. But AI is such a, if you use it for the right things, it's such a powerful thing. Like cleaning up your notes. Like I just streamlined of consciousness, be like, can you just look at that and give me the fun stuff in there? Or can you take this 3-page report and summarize it for me so I don't have to read? Like there are some things that don't take away from the creativity and help us. But when you start having it be creative for you, that's when it's like, ugh.
Yeah. A good thing I started using it for on the back end would be like, you pull the audio off of a podcast and then you send that into some sort of AI tool and say, give me like a set of chapters for this. That way, that way I don't have to go back through it a fourth time and re-listen to it and note down all the chapters after it's been post-edited. It's like, there's those kind of things that actually make
those are awesome. I love that stuff.
I liken AI to like, if you live on a farm, I always made the joke, when I was growing up, there's a tool in every shed, or a hammer in every shed next to the light switch. So like the hammer is AI. This is the tool that you can kind of fix everything with, but you're not actually really going to fix everything with it.
You got to know how to use it too. It means that you still need to take it and go do it and point it in the direction.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it will work, but it's not.
Because it's not going to create the song without some human being like, here's what I want you to do, so that's where it's like still blurry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you did tell it what to do, but
true.
But also then it just did it and it's better than you.
True. Yeah. I mean, I think that's where I look at it as if it can make me more productive in a work sense, I will utilize it for sure. But like, if I'm just doing something creatively, maybe I'm more reserved because it's like I don't feel any pressure to utilize this to make music to try to make money because I'm just doing this as a hobby. Maybe that's
totally.
Maybe that's where it's at. I'm not sure. But yeah, Back to the Future 3 on the rewatch. We're gonna go back to that because
that was a tangent,
dude. You guys, I don't want to say like tore that movie up, but there were a lot of things in there. It's like I never thought about the fact there's 2 DeLoreans.
Dude, that blew my mind because I never thought about that either until I go, well, wait a minute.
Dude, you were talking about it.
Disappear.
Dude, I'm driving and I'm listening to you talk. I'm like, no, there's not. Like, what are you talking? There's not 2 DeLoreans back. Yeah, there are. Like,
well, then somebody goes, no, actually, there's 3. And I can't remember how they even put it, but I was like, oh my God, you're absolutely right. There's technically 3 DeLoreans out there or whatever. So yeah, it's like, I love that stuff because like it's kind of like when we did that theory on the Breakfast Club about how Allison was in detention herself.
Yep.
Guys, of course, it's a John Hughes movie. Like, of course, that's not what he was implying. But it's fun to think about. Isn't that just super fun to be like, wow, that's a fun concept, and then move on with your life,
Dude, the other fun thing is I know you guys will cue this up sometimes in the full episode to be like, all right, we're going to make this for TikTok. You ready? All right, go. And then you just say the most insane stuff ever just to get people to be like, no, actually, you're wrong, to do the internet thing.
Engagement.
Yes.
God, dude. Like, it was like the Forrest Gump one when Sean was pretending like the feather was a real feather at the beginning. It's like, people hated that so much. It's like, you idiot. It's like, oh my God, whatever, man.
Yeah, this actually holds the record for the most scenes, most times an opening scene was shot. That it has to involve a feather sequence, and like,
what? No way,
dude. The funny part about that is one of the most viral. No, it's not even really that viral, but the most engaged short I've uploaded on the TikTok for Audible Farm is actually one where like people just lit me up, and I was talking about why band names are stupid. Boy, don't ever name a band when you talk about how band names are actually stupid. I mean, you're in a band called the Pork Tornadoes.
Our name is terrible. It's awful.
I'm in a band, Three Finger Betty.
Not great.
At least it's dumb, and I'm making fun of bands like Alice in Chains. If that was a band on your local circuit, like I would be like, I'm not going to see this band, and people are just like, you don't have the slightest clue what you're talking about, or whatever. One dude just...
Congrats, man. You literally figured the internet out.
Dude.
It's make people comment hate. That's all it is.
And you're not going to win. You're not going to win if you try to argue with them. I've said this before on multiple podcasts, but like I tried to be like, well, actually all I meant was, and I unleashed like 4 lines of text where it's like I'm trying to justify, and the guy says, no one cares. And it's like, dude, he just burned me twice. Like he just burned me twice. And he said like 7 words altogether. Like...
They're better at trolling than you are. You have to understand that. And dude, here's what's messed up. I do want people to know this. If you ever fall in a situation where maybe you're unfairly, like you feel like you're going viral and you're getting negative stuff on, this has happened twice now in the last year. The first time we made that post, we did the Coldplay Kiss Cam. We jumped on that bag, which by the way, you should. Anytime there's a cultural moment, post it. Just go with it. But dude, that post reached like 4 million people and it was all negative. It was all like, oh, boycott this band. They support infidelity. And I got I got really worked up about that. I was like, this is stupid. And if you look at the analytics, 99% of the people were not from Iowa and didn't know who we were. So they were looking for the stuff to find to be mad about. And then it took it a step further. Just recently, a video we posted from like early September, a video of us on stage, somehow 8 weeks later got shared around. It had like 1,000 shares in one day as part of a No Kings rally. It was like, look at Cedar Rapids doing a No Kings rally. And it was like, no, that was our show that we played 8 weeks ago.
Oh, God.
But then I looked into it. I clicked on everyone that shared it. Every single one of them was a bot. Oh. Every single share was a weird bot that was just finding something that someone secretly wanted the internet to go divisive about, and it was sharing them. So you have to remember that I think there's a stat out there that like over 50% of the accounts you're going to run into are bots. And so don't even pay attention anymore. It literally doesn't matter. You're not talking to a human.
Dude, yeah. Especially like it used to be somebody, but it was just somebody in a warehouse with like 9,000 phones in front of them.
With Cheeto fingers.
Yeah, and now there's none of that though. Now it's just AI.
Exactly.
That's the downfall and the bad part about it, which is super unfortunate. And that's, good Lord, that's greasy. I can't believe, I guess I can believe somebody would use the internet for not good.
Weird, right?
Yeah, go exactly. Figure. Okay, so I don't want to keep you too late because I do know, like you said, if I always talk about how I have a busy schedule, when I have free time, I like my free time, but like let's look what I'm talking to. But
I love chatting with you, man, obviously.
So I do have a couple just goofy questions here for you. What episode have you guys recorded of The Confused Breakfast that made you laugh the hardest? Like which one is the, like, obviously that's my favorite part is listening to you guys laugh. And sometimes when it gets out of control, when it's just like, you can hear dead air because you guys are like doing the silent, like breathe laugh, like,
yeah,
like that's my favorite thing ever. So like which one of the episodes do you think made you guys laugh the hardest?
There's been a few where the episode is pretty much ended because of something funny that happened where we've been like, we can't, like we did 101 Dalmatians, like the old animated movie, and it ended with AJ talking about how the dogs are doing blackface, because they basically were. They like cover themselves up and dude, and it just like, then I go, we were laughing so hard about it, but then I was like, well, we should just end this because then, but wait, we got to move on to talk about how they get a plantation. He's like, well, now we can't talk about a plantation anymore. And it was just like, okay. But I think the ultimate funniest one we ever had though was Mortal Kombat. We got on a tangent about how when they go to outer world, about how like Reptile disappears, and it's because he's trying to find like an abandoned warehouse to start his like beard oil. Like they're gentrifying outer world. They're going to start putting in like craft breweries, and sometimes it just depends on the mood we're in. If we had a couple beers and we're getting delirious, it's just like something will strike up something, and then once AJ starts laughing, it's like we're over. We just laugh too hard at that point.
I'm going to say this in a kind way. I think that the fact that you guys will make fun of these movies that are good bad, I would put Mortal Kombat in on the list.
It's a good bad.
I mean, forgive me if you're like, I really like Mortal Kombat present day, but like Street Fighter would also be in that realm, you know.
So bad, dude.
So like those are the kind of movies I love going back and listening to the reviews on these, because it's like I'm not sure I actually want to rewatch this, but I will certainly listen to you guys talk about it instead, you know, because you're gonna get a lot of like Batman Forever.
Yes,
that was another one.
Terrible.
It's so funny to listen to you guys talk about it though. And that was when I went through and rewatched it after I listened to the thing, and I'm like, this wasn't worth the rewatch. This was
and some people get caught up in the whole like they can't separate their nostalgia from it, which is I understand. Like, dude, when we did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze, that's a terrible movie because they like took away that darkness of the first one. The first one was dark and scary, and they had weapons and they were like killing people.
Yeah.
Second one was like, we're selling toys and Vanilla Ice is here, but like. Even then, I still had trouble. I was watching it going, this is awesome. You know, like, because I was remembering being a kid watching it. So it's hard. I get it. Sometimes it's hard to strip away those layers of nostalgia and what you think about when you're watching a movie.
I mean, I want to say you guys talked about the same thing with Ghostbusters, though, as well.
Totally. Ghostbusters 2 was not great upon rewatch.
Yeah, that's another one where it's not bad at all, but it's one
okay. It's still Ghostbusters, but it's not as good as the first.
Dude, when you guys brought up the whole fact where like the bad guy in the movie's there for about 3 minutes, and then it's not a whole lot different than the first movie. The bad guy's only there for a second, but like the bad guy in the first movie seemed like so much more formidable than and I didn't really put it all together until you like say it.
Dude, and in the second one, what killed this evil Vigo, like the worst person to ever walk the earth, was the crowd singing Auld Lang Syne outside the building. So that's what killed him. Like, what?
So it was just bad timing on his part.
It was bad timing.
Had he come out like the 2nd of January, everyone would have been right back to being crabby. The holidays would have been over.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Like, dude, I there's a lot of movies that when I listen to what you guys talk about, it makes me rethink them in a fashion where it's like, I think people forget that it's okay to laugh at the things you enjoy.
Totally.
So like that's when growing up, those were the things we made fun of. Like in my friend group, we made fun of the things we liked the most, where it's like, we liked 80s hair metal, but it's so easy to make fun of it because it's just like dudes with more makeup on than your sister wearing tighter pants than, you know, and you could just keep going down the list. But if somebody else came in from the outside and made fun of it, it's like, don't make fun of this thing.
Hey, we like that.
Yeah. So I don't know, but like that's like these movies, and I feel like you're probably running into the same thing where it's like it's okay to make fun of this stuff, and there's some people that, like you said, are just so latched on nostalgically. They're like, absolutely, under no circumstances can you say that, you know, whatever happened in the Goonies is not good or whatever it was. But
we got a lot of flack for making fun of D2, Mighty Ducks 2, and like dude, like I tore apart some of that movie, but when it came down to it, when it was all said and done, and we've discussed it, I was like, I still like this movie, you know, like
yeah. That was another one I sat after you reviewed those two. I went through and rewatched them. There's a lot of movies that I rewatched because you guys have reviewed them, and
you're like, no way. Let me go check this out again.
Yeah, like there's no way he was such a little bitch in you know
sure
D2.
Was.
He sure was. And then it's like you watch it and you're like, geez. Then you have to think to yourself like, well, I guess when I was a kid, I didn't understand how everything worked either. I guess, but still, like,
well, and they're not made for us as dudes above 30 years old. They were made for 10-year-old kids. You know, like. And so of course we're gonna watch it and be like, "What the hell is this?"
And maybe somebody that might be sharp enough to realize that the guy's name being Gordon Bombay, like that was another one where I was like,
two different gins.
I didn't think of this at all. I even like Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, whatever. Thanks, Confused Breakfast.
That's crazy. Yeah, there's a bunch of fun stuff in there. I mean, I could just keep talking about this forever, but I do want to I have one other question. Is you have all these tidbits in all these movies. Is there ever a tidbit that you forgot to bring into a movie where you're like, I watched this a third time and now I'm like, I missed this thing. I wished I would have talked about it.
No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'll tell you what, we've built such a great audience now with behind the scenes Patreon, and we've got a Discord, and where these like really top core fans, and even the ones that are always commenting on stuff, like I don't really read comments much anymore. We've kind of reached the point to where it's just too much and too fast, and I just like I try to stay away from that. That's part of my just modern world resolutions. But every once in a while you'll see somebody will say something, you're like, where were you? Where were you before we recorded this episode? That's an amazing point. So building those communities behind the scenes are pretty amazing. To like, we have like all these friends that we've never met before. That it's like you with the community, man. Like all the people you've brought on this show and all the people you've heard from that like listen every week. It's just weird that they know you so well and like you don't even know who they are. Like everyone knows everything about you. Because you're on the show.
It's a bit weird, yeah. I mean, it makes me think like you'll even like on occasion call people out on your podcast. We're like, I haven't seen this guy comment in a while. I wonder if he's still out there. And it's like, dude, that's wild that that just like some random guy who he could be 13, he could be 40, 50, 80. You don't know who he is. He could just be like some guy just commenting on your stuff on Patreon. You're like, oh, I haven't he hasn't piped up in a while. I wonder where he's at, So if you're out there, let us know, It's like that.
Well, there's the people that have been around from the start. Same for you, man. Like, because you're over 5 years on this podcast. Like, I know you went off and on a little bit, but there are those people that have they showed up right around the beginning and they're still there. And you obviously remember that. Same with bands, man. I remember there are Pork Tornadoes fans that have been around for 15, 16, 17 years. And it's like, thank you. I can't even tell you how much this means that you're still here.
Dude, that's super cool. All right. Well, I do want to say one more time, you got the Ballroom tour coming up. The 21st, you're at the Valor Ballroom in Des Moines. The 22nd, Fort Dodge at the Larimar Ballroom. And then the following weekend, the Surf Ballroom. You got a New Year's Eve date in Sioux City. You're playing, shows out of state. Pork Tornadoes, all the stuff's going to be down below for that. It's porktornadoes.com. If you're looking for Confused Breakfast stuff, that's the podcast. They talk about movies. We're talking special guest stars of movie quality actual actors have been on your show. I mean, it's
Ernie Reyes Jr. is coming on in a couple weeks. You know who that is? He was he played Keno in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. And he was in Surf Ninjas. He reached out to us. We're like, yes, we would love to talk to you, bro.
Dude, that's awesome. Was he not also in one of the outfits in the first and
He
third
was
movie?
Donatello in the first Ninja Turtles. Yeah, he was inside the uniform.
Was he in the third one too?
No, maybe I don't think he was in the third one.
Okay, I know. I was gonna say I knew he was in one. I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah, but that's super cool, dude. Like I don't know. So yeah, obviously lots of cool stuff coming up. I'm gonna have links all sorts down below. Anything we didn't talk about that you want to give a shout out to before we scoot out?
No, man. I mean, to anybody out there, I know everybody's gigging. It's so hard to catch other bands playing. But if we're ever in your town, like, shoot a message to me on Facebook or to the Pork Tornadoes on Facebook. It all comes to me if you wanna check out the setup and chat and ask questions and see the show. Like, we love meeting other bands, other musicians, and sharing any knowledge we got. So we'd love to meet you down the road somewhere.
Awesome. Mike, don't go away, but thank you very much for joining me on the podcast.
Thanks, brother.
There you go. It's this one's fun because I mean, talking about what he said, 18 years of the Pork Tornadoes, like this kind of stuff doesn't just happen overnight. I know it's just one of those things you become like undeniable the longer you're there, and it's one of those things where you just have to stick with it and you have to keep pushing, the thing and doing the thing that you want to do. More importantly, at the time the Pork Tornadoes were doing what they were doing, it wasn't necessarily the cool thing to do, and now it's pretty cool. I don't know, there's a lot of cover bands out there, tribute bands, things of that nature that are doing quite a bit of I don't want to say touring, but they're doing a lot of shows in a lot of places. So hey, it's pretty cool. We talked about AI music. That was something that's kind of crazy. We talked about all sorts of fun stuff with the Confused Breakfast. If you have any sort of like 80s 90s nostalgia for movies, Just anything in that genre. Go listen to these guys. They're so funny. They just talk about literally every aspect of the movie. They let their fans do some reviews. They read some critic reviews. They read some online reviews. They review it themselves. They talk about funny scenes and goofy scenes and things where they might have had a mishap or not. And it's just, I don't know. I really enjoy sitting down talking with Mike. I like listening to his podcast. And I'm going to go enjoy me some pork tornadoes this weekend at the Larimar Ballroom in Fort Dodge, Iowa. So make sure you go out to that one or go to any of their shows. If they swing by, it's definitely worth checking out. Tons of fun music. I got all the website links and everything down below for the pork tornadoes and the confused breakfast. And this was a great one. Hats off to Mike. Thanks for joining me. Thank you to the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association. Thank you guys for listening. audiblefarm.com for basically everything. Patreon for episodes a day early. There's an Audible Farm shop with some merch still in there. I still do have some hats. What else? All the social medias at Audible Farm. All right, that's it. I got it. Thanks, everybody. Peace.